Hi, I'm Litvarski and I'm going to show you the most essential vertical shoot 'em ups on the Amiga. Essential meaning that I'm going to play all of the games that I find interesting or worth trying out. I will play these games in chronological order, so I first start with the essential games of 1987, then the essential games of 1988 and so on. I will skip the 1986 because there are only 2 games and they are both crap, I think. The description below will include the links to these games, so you can easily skip to the game you want to see. So, let's begin. So, first of these games is Plutos by Microvalue on 1987. The graphics are quite standard for the 1987, so other games don't have much difference to this game, but the gameplay here is much better than the usual games. So if you die here, then it's your own fault, and like here, immediately. The collision detection is fair, and I don't see any problem with those things. Only fault I can see is that actually there are no in-game music, and it's a bit too easy game. I have 5 lives already, and this just is a bit easy, so you get pretty far in the game, even if you die a few times. You also must collect some fuel. You see that there's a fuel meter in the right. So there are fuel tanks you can shoot, and then that makes you collect some fuel. And you also get an extra ship after every stage. These Fs are the fuel tanks. Also there is some kind of auto fire, but it's faster the shooting is much faster if you push the button repeatedly. So that auto fire is like this, and then but you're gonna fire much faster than that using your thumb. And you're going to need it. Extra speed, so this is quite a thumb killer this game. The fuel meter doesn't restart even if you lose one ship, so you can lose your fuel completely and then you cannot get it back. If you don't have fuel, then your ship doesn't move anywhere on the screen. You are just stuck in one place. You can still shoot, but you cannot evade these bullets at all. So kind of a game over if you lose your fuel. Also, you can notice that there's some So that's Plutos. Next up is Typhoon by Kingsoft. This game has to be played on an Amiga 500 because the VHD load version has some bugs. There are speed boosts if you play it on a 1200 VHD load. Also, if you want to emulate this game, then you have to put cycle exact emulation on, or you will get the same kind of boosts as in the 1200 real hardware. So this game doesn't have an auto fire. Oh. There's no in-game music either, just some small exploding sounds. Also there are these. Oh, didn't get that one. These moments when nothing's happening. So, not a very polished game, but controls are good. The ship is reasonably fast. Not the fastest in the world, but you can dodge the bullets. And then some enemies coming from behind, which is a bad thing also, because you cannot dodge them really unless you know that they are coming. But it is a playable game anyway, compared to the other games in 1987. This is the second and the last game I put on this video from 1987. The other games were not playable enough, in my opinion. Also, it's a bit easy because you have in the left you can see that I have 5 ships remaining, so it's very generous with these extra lives. Just died, but still I have 5 lives. Oh, then there's this skull which you can shoot, but if you shoot it then you die. So you're not supposed to shoot it. Oh, almost hit the skull. Oh, that's game over then. So it's a playable game, but it's a bit too simple and too easy, I think. And there are other bad things as well, but it still barely made this list. So we come to the 1988. And our first game here is Fernandez Must Die by Imageworks. So this is not a scrolling shooter like the earlier ones we have had. In here we shoot by pressing the fire button, and then we use the bazooka by holding the fire button. Now this is going to blow up, so we get out of there by pressing the space bar. So you can see that it's quite a nice Ikari Warriors or Commando clone. Maybe more like Ikari Warriors because you can drive this jeep. ran through the door. So I cannot get over this fence, I must go back to the original place where I got in. Oh no! I get the cheap again. So the graphics are quite basic, but and there's no music, but something there is in the game. It's quite fun. So on to the next game. So next game is Flying Shark by Firebird. It's an arcade conversion where the original arcade was made in 1987 by Taito. So here you can shoot and then by pressing spacebar you can throw a bomb. So you can see that it's a straight ST conversion. It doesn't look so faithful to the original, but at least it's playable. No! there's no auto fire either, so you have to press the button repeatedly. Oh. Yeah, I'm growing fond of this game somehow. Doesn't look so good, but there's playability. It's tough, but not too tough. So on to the next game. We get to the first great vertical shooter of the Amiga, Hybris. This was published by Discovery in 1988. And this has plenty of stuff to do instead of just pushing your fire button. So you can blow up some proximity bombs by pushing the space bar, and then you can press the enter to make your ship go to another formation. This you can also do by wiggling your joystick in a clockwise direction. I'm not showing those things until I really have to use them. And also you get upgrades for your ship. The enemy patterns are interesting. They are varied and provide enough challenge. So you die only when the middle of the ship gets hit with something, but you can lose your upgrades if they get hit. So this. The bare minimum of the ship is this red part here well, you can see it. Also, the graphics are much better than in other vertical shooters of 1988. Really resembles an arcade game. Now here I use the bomb. And then I go to another formation, so only the middle of my ship gets hit by other weapons. So first we must shoot the side parts of the enemy ship and then the middle. Damn it. I'm scared of those things. Oh no. Hmm. It's game over now. So, on to the next video. Next up is Ikari Warriors, an arcade conversion by Elite. The original arcade version was by TradeWest, published by TradeWest and manufactured by SNK. So, if you compare to the Commodore 64 version, I think this is more faithful to the arcade, but that's not a good thing, actually. The Commodore 64 version plays better than this, I think. With its tinier graphics. I think this is still a playable game, pretty close to the arcade. Okay. So it's quite faithful to the arcade version, but Not as good as the Commodore 64 version. Still, it's a playable game. So next, let's go to the next game. Next up is Scorpio by Kingsoft. This is a pretty blatant rip-off of R-Type, so you have plenty of similar stuff in here. Let's see how it goes. You see the satellite, this is exactly the same thing as in R-Type. And you can also shoot with the satellite by pushing the fire button twice repeatedly. Oh, by the way, this game has an auto fire, so it's not such a bad game for your thumb. There are easier weapons like the laser, which is similar as in R-Type, but against the first level boss, this weapon is the best. This is that simple. That's stupid. So there are no checkpoints in this game except this then if you die in level 2, then you are going to start from the beginning of level 2. But otherwise there are no checkpoints. Of course in level 3 you have an own checkpoint in the beginning of the level, but otherwise there are no checkpoints. Okay, so on to the next game. Next up is Sidewinder. This was released by Mastertronic and the music here is done by David Whittaker. So David Whittaker remaked his earlier work from Panther on Commodore 64 in this title screen. It's a pity that the game doesn't have music but just sound effects. So here you can choose a difficulty level from beginner to master. So there's no auto fire in this game, except that you can collect an auto fire collectible, and then you have auto fire for a short period. The control is a little bit floaty in the forward and backward direction, so that you have some inertia. But sideways the controls are perfect. I don't like the inertia in this game. R is for auto fire. The graphics are quite garish also, but stupid. As a game this is quite fun. P makes our bullets much more effective. I don't know. The P makes this weapon so strong that you can destroy any target with one bullet. Oh no. Well, it's game over then. So, on to the next game. Next up is Stargoose by Logotron. So, this is a bit different from the other shooters in that you don't just shoot everything and proceed, but you have to collect 6 crystals in each level before you can proceed to the next level. The levels wrap around, so you have multiple opportunities to collect the said crystals. So you have a machine gun you can use by pressing the fire button, and then you have also missiles you can launch. This happens by pressing Amiga and Alt buttons, the right or left depending on your choice. So you have to first prime the missiles and then you can shoot the missiles. Here we can replenish our missiles. So you see the crystals in the left bottom of the screen. And now I have collected everyone. One of them. Here is the goal, or here we should go when we want to proceed to the next level, but I want to first collect some shield from the first level before proceeding. So I could take some fuel also. So you got these different kind of tunnels for your fuel, ammo and shield. This is a fuel tunnel. So now we are ready to go to the next level. From here. missed one crystal somewhere. But first I have to replenish my shield. That's the priority number one. So I'm again ready to go to the next level, but I want some shield. Also fuel is quite low. Some fuel first. Then for the shields. You can also use the missile inside the tunnel, so that makes that collects most of the. Well, I collected seed from that seed tunnel. And then there's an ambush in the level 3. Okay. So this is a much better game than it looks or sounds like at first. And definitely more complex. So on to the next video. Game. We come to the last 1988 game of this list. And this game is Xenon. This was published by Melbourne House and developed by the Bitmap brothers. So in this game we have a choice in that we can be this landcraft or it can be a flying ship. And we can switch between these two by pressing the spacebar or circling the joystick in a counterclockwise direction. I'm not sure if the clockwise direction works, but at least the counterclockwise does. on the right we have this fuel meter which acts as our health. This meter with the F on the left. And this health or fuel we can replenish by collecting these F symbols. L is for laser and H is for homing missiles. I think we come to the first Sentinel. Yes. First we shoot it enough so that the middle of it changes to orange, and then we have to shoot the orange thing in the middle. G makes our laser go away, so I'm not going to take that. The music is made by David Whittaker. So now we are invincible for 10 seconds. So now we have to fight the sentry again for the second time. The idea is the same, so first shoot it until the middle goes orange and then shoot the orange team. So that's level 1. And here in this level 2 we cannot change between this land vessel and air vessel. So this is, you would say that this is a more traditional level. There's no... Well, there's a weak auto fire in this game, so that... Concentrate. So that's usually pretty weakly if you use the auto fire, but you can just press the fire button repeatedly to make for a better fire rate. I guess it's sentry time. Here we have to shoot through the middle to get to the orange core. So this is also a checkpoint. I think there are 3 checkpoints in any given level. That's what the manual states, at least. A bit indirectly, but... Quite screwed now because I don't have any power-ups. I lost this side shield completely. Yeah. I don't know how could I have avoided those things anymore without any power-ups. So it's a quite a slow tempo game. Which is, well, depends on your taste. On to the next game. Next year, 89. The first game of 1989 is the arcade conversion of 1943, the Battle of Midway. The original arcade version was developed by Capcom in 1987, and this Amiga version was published by Capcom Go in 1989. So the music is nice in this game, I think. So our ship doesn't get destroyed by a single bullet in this game, but it has a health meter which is in the lower right. So this game allows only one bullet to be on the screen at any given time, which is completely silly. That's definitely a downer for this game. And the graphics are nothing to shout about. 1989. So not the best conversion there is, but it's somewhat playable. Marked by stupid bugs, like that. Only one shot per screen. So, on to the next game. Next up is Banzai by Swedish Software. This is a Commando clone. So, instead of ships we have a walking man who shoots everything. So first we have to choose the firearm to shoot instead of using the knife. So the graphics are okay. But I like the music in this game. It's nice. So this is not like Commando that in that you have about the scrolling, the screen scrolls automatically when you are enough near the top of the screen. So in a sense this is an auto-scrolling game. Here we have to go to the correct place so we don't drown. Yeah, and there are invisible mines which are stupid. Also, when you compare to the Commando and Ikari Warriors, then in this game you don't die from a single bullet. You instead have a health meter. A mine again. I don't remember where the mines are, so I'm dying all the time. Yeah, that didn't go too well. But anyway, it's a nice game if you forget about those mines. They are bad for this game. So next game then. Next up is a real classic. The full title of the game is Battle Squadron and the Destruction of the Barrax Empire. This was released by Electronic Zoo in Europe and by Enterprise in the rest of the world. Let's skip the intro sequence here. So in the main menu we can choose either joystick or mouse control. Mouse control has 2 buttons, so it's not that bad. By pressing spacebar we get to this options screen where we can choose amount of lives and our starting weapon and other things. We'll leave these at the default settings. So let's start. This is the sequel to Hybris game, which is a very good game, and this game has some interesting developments compared to Hybris. For example, you can scroll the screen sideways in this game. In Hybris you couldn't do that. So there are many different weapons in this game. There are four different weapons which you can shoot with, and then you have these smart bombs which activate by holding the fire button and doing a clockwise, circling clockwise with the controller. Here we see a very different weapon already. So the game has definitely very nice graphics, and music is also very good. So, but there's no auto fire in this game. That's maybe because of the smart bombs. So it would have been possible to include the auto fire, but the developers chose not to do that. So we get to the second level by entering here. We just need to go to the exact spot to get to the second level. I think this game has a very good difficulty curve. It doesn't start overly difficult, but it's quite challenging very early on. No. So this is definitely a very good game on the Amiga. Very much recommended. So on to the next game. Next up is Commando. This was developed and published by Elite, and the original arcade version was already published in 1985 by Capcom, so this is quite a late conversion for the Amiga. But it's not a very good conversion. This feels like, well, not slow motion, but it has definitely slower gameplay than in the arcade version and also the C64 version. Also, what annoys me here is that the diagonal shooting doesn't really go that diagonally. The guy shoots at a pretty strange angle. Also, the collision detection is not good. That sometimes when you touch a bullet or an enemy, then sometimes you die and sometimes you don't. So the collision detection is not working very well in this game. So that's the end of level 1. the grenade is tossed by holding down the fire button. So otherwise you shoot just by pressing the button once. There's no auto fire. So it's it's fun for a little while, but not very long, because there are better games on better shooters on the Amiga, and the Commodore 64 and the arcade versions are better than this one. So, on to the next game. Next up is Goldrunner 2. This was released by Microdeal 2 years after the first Goldrunner. So, I left the original Goldrunner out because I don't think that's playable enough, but this second Goldrunner is definitely an improvement on the original game. So this is kind of an Iridium clone in that you can go in two directions, shooting things. So it's vertical instead of the Iridium going horizontal. So here you have to destroy these transporter cars in the ground first, and then they release these robots. You have to rescue them. So this happens by waiting for these green recovery cars to come. Damn it. These green recovery cars come to recover the robots. Then they become red when they have recovered a robot. Then you must shoot the recovery ship and collect the robot from it. And then you need to also rescue the robots. Here is one rescue place where I have put the robots into. And in the end we have this docking ship. We have to dock inside that. So that's first level. So first we go after the robots which are transport the cars which have these robots. I think I have to rescue them first before taking more. Oh. Oh, they pushed me into that. So in the right you have this border where you have in the top you have that how many ships do you have left. I have one left. And then below that you have that how many robots you are carrying. At the moment I have one robot carried with me. Ah!
Game over.
Okay.
Your name?
It's a strange game. When I didn't know what to do, I did much better. But now that I know what to do, it's much more fun.
Not bad.
So that's Goldrunner 2. Next up is Time Soldier by Electrocoin. This was originally an arcade game, Time Soldiers, released by Romstar in 1987. So we are going to rescue some warriors in different times. This is the plot. So we start in the Age of Rome. So on the left bottom we have these bars. The red bar meaning health, yellow meaning that we have this multi-shot, black bar meaning that we have a speed, and green bar means ammunition. This is a pretty hard game. I haven't made the end boss of the first level, even though I've tried quite a many times. this is not going too well. I don't have much health left. Yeah, I got the power up, so I got my health back. Beaming gives us our health. So, other, well, graphics are functional and collision detection is fair and the music is nice, but the game is too hard. That's the problem with this game. So it would be much better if the game would be easier, but that's the thing about this game, it's hard. We come to the last game of the 1989 year, and this is Xenon 2 Mega Blast, sequel to Xenon 1. This was released by Imageworks and it was designed by the Bitmap brothers but coded by the assembly line. The music is, well, its music is by the Bomb the Bass band, but David Whittaker coded a version for the Amiga. So this is kind of a flawed classic. So the presentation is great, the graphics and the music is great, but the gameplay leaves something to be desired. First we collect some speed here, and at the beginning we only have this little pea shooter, and it's quite hard to hit the enemies because they are so small in this game. There are some minor issues with the collision detection also, but they are not that noticeable. Sometimes you don't hit the enemy even though you should. Then the controls don't feel as nice as in Xenon 1, for example. So you have some inertia when you're moving sideways. If you move lots of sideways, then your ship doesn't come to a stop until a little moment later, when you have released the joystick. So I think that is a flaw also. So those were the cons of this game, but then pros come, well, mainly from the graphics and music. And then, well, you have a shop. That's a nice thing. I'm not going to sell or buy anything at this point, except health maybe. I don't need that. So, even though there are many bad things about this game, then it's still not unplayable. You can play. Well, you can play it. It's not completely frustrating. This doesn't sound very good for this game, but I don't think it is an upgrade for the Xenon 1 gameplay wise. So this really as a pea shooter, this first weapon we have, but fortunately the enemies die from one shot usually. Then later on we get some better weaponry also. That's a good thing. So that's level 1. I usually don't sell these, but I buy the double shot. That gives the pea shooter some extra bullets. Oh no. Yeah. One thing I don't like also is that some enemies come from behind. So it's there's not much safe space for the ship. But yeah, I think it's on, well, about average vertical shooter. Not as good as Xenon 1, for example. But anyway, let's go to the 1990 year. Next up is Intact by Sphinx Software. So this game does have some kind of story, but it's one-liner. So the aliens have invaded the Xenon II planet, and you must preserve the freedom of this planet by destroying all the aliens. So let's wait for it to load first, and we'll see the game. Okay. So this game has a bit of a slow start. Of course the loading at first, but in addition our ship is very slow at the beginning. So this makes it a bit painful in the beginning to play. So when we destroy a wave of aliens, we get some credits. Oh. And these credits we can use to buy weaponry later on. This red blob I think gave 2 credits. Yeah, you can see the credits at the right side. So here's the first shop, and I guess I'll take this one also. So our ship is now much faster, and the game is playable now. There's also a smart bomb in this game, so you can use smart bombs when you have more than 3 credits. I guess 3 credits is enough. So let's test it. You use the bomb by pressing Alt, left Alt button. Yeah, that uses 3 credits, and then yeah, it uses 3 credits, the smart bomb. There are some complaints that the game is too easy when you get to some power-ups. This might be true. This is my first play when I have collected this power-up for my weapon. Oh! Shit. Ah. I cannot buy anything with my only 2 credits. And I have already the first 2 power-ups, which cost 1 and 2 credits. Oh shit! And I have those nightclub also. So for me this game doesn't seem too easy. Maybe I haven't just practiced enough. Anyway, it's very playable. Has been very playable to this point, this game. No, I'm using the bomb this time. Uses too many credits. I'll take this one. Okay, so I get faster bullets. Oh no! Oh. So I think this is the end of level boss here. So that's intact and that's quite a nice game. Next up is New York Warriors. This was released by Virgin after the arcade version Delta Command was released in 1989. So first up we are against Ramboids. So really getting rid of the tanks and then go to the second level. Here we are against assassins. Oh, I ran out of ammo. Usually there is no bus here. Or maybe I got lost. Let's go here then. That went badly. Next up is New York Warriors. This was released by Virgin 1 year after the 1989 coin-op version Delta Warriors. No, Delta Command was the name. This is also by Virgin. So this looks a bit garish maybe, but it's very playable. First we get against Ramboids. Oh no, shit. So that's the first level, first real level, and then we get to the assassin level. It's not an easy game. Oh. So that's New York Warriors. It's a fine game. Next up is Sidewinder II, which was released by Virgin Mastertronic with a budget label called 16 Blitz. So this is a sequel to the Sidewinder game, but really has nothing to do with that game because it's completely different and feels like an 8-bit game. So it's not nearly as good as the first one, but I think this is still a playable game. So there's no auto fire in this game, so you have to push the button repeatedly to shoot things. Obviously the team also which created this game is completely different to the one that made Sidewinder 1. Here I can replenish my health in this blue fog. think the music is quite nice in this game. I don't have much shield left. That's in the right border. You can also stop moving like this. Damn it! Tried to escape that one, but couldn't. Ah. So that's Sidewinder II. It's not nearly as good as the first one, but I think it's playable enough. Doesn't also take advantage of the Amiga hardware, but not every game does. We get to the end of the year 1990 and easily the best vertical shooter of the year, Wings of Death. This was released by Talion and developed by Eclipse. Let's see how to get from the title screen. So there's no auto fire in this game, but oh no! Shouldn't have collected that. Okay, back to the Dragonfire. So we can collect auto fire, but there's no, otherwise there's no auto fire in this game. Oh!
Energy. Dragonfire.
The graphics and music are nice on this game.
Energy. Speed.
There's another auto fire. If you collect 2 auto fires, then you will lose your auto fire, which is very silly. But once you know it, then you won't do it.
Energy.
It's important to not collect those other bullets because you will lose your power-ups. Meaning that now I have this level 2 auto fire. If I collect another bullet, then I will start from level 1 again. So that's level 1. The second level we start with we lose our power up, so I don't have the other fire anymore. And the dragon fire is on level 1. That's a big sprite.
Dragonfire.
There's a dragonfly. Now I just need health.
Hunter.
Ah.
Autofire. Energy.
There's health.
Energy. Dragonfire.
Okay. and some enemies come from behind, and that's a thing I don't like.
Auto fire.
Oh, took a lot of damage there.
Dragon fire.
I really need some health. Okay. So we get to the level 4. Oh! Oh no!
Fire.
I lost the dragon fire again.
Auto fire. Energy. Dragon fire.
Oh!
Dragon fire.
Damn it. Very close to death.
Speed. Auto fire. Auto
Ah,
fire.
I lost the auto fire by getting a second auto fire. One hit would kill me. Oh. Okay, that's game over, but I made quite far. Yeah, it's definitely the best game of this year of the vertical shooter variety. So, next up is 1991. We get to year 1991, and this will be a hell of a year for vertical shooters. First off, we have Blazing Thunder by High-Tech. So this is kind of an not an auto-scrolling game, but manual scrolling. So we have this tank we are driving and shooting anyone who dares to put up resistance. It's kind of different in this game compared to other shooters, that you have this health energy meter and you feel really overpowered compared to the enemies. They still do of course hurt you if you're not careful. So here I must shoot first the things in the top half, then the bottom half, and then the middle. After that we just shoot this. Shoot this and it's off to level 2. Oh. If you die you lose your power up. Or one level of it at least. So there's no auto fire in this game. That would improve the game even a little more. But it's fun even this way. Oh no, I lost my... Okay, I got the flamethrower. No, no. Ah. Oh. So that's end of it. So that's a fun shooter. And next up we'll go to what was the name? Next up is Frenetic, which was released by Core Design. This is quite a little known game. So, what does this offer? This offers good controls, good graphics and good sound effects, or good music. It has both music and sound effects. The gameplay is not completely on par with those other elements, unfortunately. Because this level design is not so good, or the enemy patterns are not so challenging or varied. At least in the first level, this is quite an easy level. And there's no auto fire either, which could improve this game a bit. that was a more tough spot. So we are in the boss stage, or you have to shoot this moon thing to open it up, and then you can see the machine inside. Then you have to destroy the machine. It's enough to open the moon from one corner, because you can shoot the machine then from this corner. You can shoot the other corners as well if you want, but that doesn't accomplish anything. Second level is more tough. You have these pretty random looking enemies, and this one enemy which shoots very large projectiles, which eats most of the space on the screen, almost. You can also hit the walls in this level. Oh no. Thought it wouldn't shoot me, but it did. It's much more tough than the first level. Really had nowhere to go to. So it's not bad. So it has good controls, good graphics and good music. Next up is Lethal Access. This was developed and published by Eclipse, who created the Wings of Death game. This is the sequel to that Wings of Death. So let's start. the enemies coming from behind is not very nice. So instead of a dragon or a bird, you have this spaceship in this game. And this ship is quite large, so it takes a lot of space on the screen. That makes it quite difficult to dodge the bullets the enemies are shooting. So there's a collectible auto fire. Otherwise there's no auto fire in this game. And the collectible auto fire also ends after 10 seconds. So it's doesn't work for long. Ah, there's an enemy here. So if you die, you lose all your power-ups, which is quite unforgiving. Because there's speed and then your weaponry. You lose both of them. Couldn't escape that really. It's a very tough game, this. Too tough for me, at least. Fortunately, you can choose a difficulty level to make it more easy. But that's that. Next up is High Stuntman by Codemasters. A very strange name on a game, but this is a really fine game nonetheless. So it already has an auto fire, which is a good thing. It's very tough in the beginning unless you get these power-ups. Well, it's very tough overall if you don't have power-ups. But the strategy here is to first shoot all these big ships. This one is one of those and they give you power-ups. use your smart bombs if necessary to destroy this. And that's about it. Very simple strategy, but it's absolutely necessary to get these power-ups. Without these you are screwed. Well, yeah. The smart bombs also destroy every bullet on the screen, so it's kind of a... You can use it as an offensive or a defensive means. So we have... I think we have full power-ups. So 5 bullets at a time and good fire rate also. So yeah, life's much easier with the power-ups. Oh no. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of enemies in the screen, so it's... This is not easy even though you have all the power-ups. Just made it. So that's the end of level 1. So we keep the power-ups also. So the second level is much harder than the first level, so yeah, these enemies which shoot homing missiles and they can shoot at least twice at a time. Whereas in the first level they shot only one missile. Those make life quite a lot tougher. It's a very high. Oh no, very high value for a budget game. Oh, thought I was invulnerable. So now I'm a bit screwed. I need some power-ups. Oh. So we get to the end of level 2. Here's another boss. Oh no. Going too well. I'm out of smart bombs and need some power-ups. Ah, yeah, no power. Oh no. Someone won last life at. Ah, I made another extra life. Oh. Yeah, this is definitely a very good game. I think it's in the top 3 on Amiga vertical shooters, and that's... Oh. That's quite much said. Not up to the standard of Battle Squadron and Hybris, but I think it's based after those two. That's my opinion. Next up is SWIV. This is the sequel to Silkworm, which was an arcade game. But this SWIV is an Amiga original game which was not in the arcades at all. So, similarly to Silkworm, you can choose to be a helicopter or a jeep. This is done by going to the options screen, and then you can choose here that maybe you want to have jeep as the joystick port 1 and helicopter as the joystick port 2 and so on. So I'm going to play as the helicopter, as it's probably most usually done. So this game has an auto fire, which is a good thing already. So the graphics are nice and the sound effects are also, the explosions sound very good. That's quite a trick. So you get invulnerability, and then you can go to the core of that big ship to kill it pretty much automatically. Oh, that was close. There's also a two-player mode in this game, which is not seen very often in these kinds of shooters. So the other player controls the jeep and the other has their helicopter in two-player mode. So many would probably say that this is the best vertical shooter on Amiga of the year 91, but I still like High Stuntman a bit more because it has more speed, or the tempo is much higher than this one. This is a little bit slower tempo, whereas the High Stuntman is very hectic all the time. I really like that about that game. But just a subjective opinion. Probably I'm in the minority. Anyway. But this is a very good game. Very well done and challenging enough. Oof, I forgot that. Nice. Oh, damn it. Oh. I hate that big ship, it's very tough to beat. Unless you have Involver with it. When you can just ram it. Oh! Oh, I didn't lose all power-ups this time. Nice. Oh, I thought that was invulnerable still. Yeah, this is definitely a good game. Do I make it to the high score list? Yeah. Yeah, that's SWIV. Next up is Violator by Codemasters. Here you can choose music or sound effects. Let's take the music. So, first of all, this game doesn't have an auto fire. So you have to mash the button and that's not so nice. The controls are a tiny bit floaty in the sense that there's some inertia with the ship. It doesn't move the instant you press the or to push the joystick in some direction. Also, as you noticed, there were some enemies coming from behind, which is not a nice thing. Damn it. But there are good things as well. Ah, that's not good. There are power-ups, and then you can use also smart bombs, pressing the space bar. Also, you don't die from a single bullet, which is, I think, correct decision for this game. There are lots of bullets and it's hard to avoid them all. Let's just try him. Yeah, that's not good that some enemies come from behind. Except, especially as if you touch another ship, then you lose all your health in an instant. You crash into the other ship. So it's very, very unforgiving if you happen to just stand in the lower bottom of the screen and some enemy comes from behind and you can never see it coming. But other than that, the enemy patterns are quite nice. Dead in one shot kills me, I think. 90% damage and now I'm lost. I still have another ship. Actually I have quite many ships, 3 left. I'm not sure if I just have used a credit at some point. Hopefully not, because that's not my intention. So that's level 1. Let's see if the level 2 is similar. The music seems to have got stuck. That's very annoying. Ah, yeah, that's what I meant. No can do. Like here also maybe. Also, almost. Oh. I like the tune, except that the some sample got stuck. That's of course very bad. Ah, that was too close to the left side. Ah. Oh. Yeah, that's Violator. It's a okay game. Okay. Next up is Warzone by Core Design. And this is not an auto-scrolling shooter, because you are this guy who walks and kills. So this is a Commando or Ikari Warriors clone. So here's the one extra thing is to, well, other than kill, you can also save some people who are, at least here they are tied into these trees. So, compared to Commando, the collision detection is completely okay, no problem there. Also the graphics are nicer. Oh, and triple grenade launcher, nice. Yeah, did I mention graphics are nicer? Yeah, I did. Also you have lots of different weaponry. Here I have this flamethrower, sometimes a grenade launcher, and a triple gun is one. So there's a lot of variety. So there's no auto fire, but if you hold the fire button down, then you have this smart bomb, which pretty much kills everything on the screen, except if there are some big baddies like that. Oh, I cannot retrace. I'd like to retrace. Like the use of this big vehicle or part of the train that didn't die immediately from the smart bomb. Oh no! I shot the innocent guy. Damn real reflexes. Oh damn it, I'm stuck. So it's not that easy game. There are very many enemies and you have to be pretty tactical in this game to find the correct spots where you can shoot the opponents. Oh nice, missile launcher. I would need some health, but I don't get that. So you have to be in the correct spots and you have to be... Oh, yeah, you have to be cautious in this game to make it far. But anyway, that's Warzone, and that was the last game of 91. So let's go forward then. Next up is Banshee, which is published by Core Design in 1994. This shoot 'em up has supports 2-button joysticks, so you can have a 1-button joystick with a space bar used, or 2-button joystick or a mouse. I'm going for the 1-button joystick. Then there are 3 difficulty levels in this game, and then other stuff which is only for 2 players. So, first of all, we notice that there's an auto fire, which is a good thing. Then the weapon is quite of a pea shooter in the beginning. But you can collect power-ups for it. They are very important too. Obviously they are important to make it far in this game. Oh, some enemies are coming from behind, which is not such a good thing. Fortunately they are not too common. Pressing the spacebar makes this loop, so that you are invulnerable for a moment. And the invulnerability stays for a small while after the loop as well. So I'm back to the pea shooter now. So this is a mini boss. So I have to shoot these two big ships, which are quite... Oh no, I missed the power up. Anyway, this is quite a simple mini boss. One up. The graphics are very good in this game, as you can see. The enemy patterns are also varied enough. No. Here you have to be careful to not to hit this bridge. Yeah, finally got some power-ups for the weaponry, but I'm very low on health, so it might not be for a very long time. This. Well, it did stay after death this time. I'm not sure how these bees build-ups, how they work in this game. The manual doesn't state it up at all. It just says that they build up. So it could be that when you have these build-ups, then your weapon doesn't go worse when you die. But I'm not sure at all about this. The manual doesn't state it, and I haven't figured it out. Oh no. Ah, it's back to the B shooter in the front direction. And here comes the boss, which is actually watch some videos and notice that this is quite an easy way to beat this boss. So if you have 3 loops, then you can go near this and you have lots of invulnerability and easy stuff then. So that's level 1. Oh. Oh, indeed. So there you have it. I think it's a very good shoot 'em up, but it does start very hard early on. But then it gets a bit easier, fortunately. Anyway, it's a good game. Next up is Mega Typhoon. This was released by Nordlicht in 1996. So let's go to the options. Here we can see the instructions of how to play the game. For example, we can see that the S power up means spread shot and the L means power laser. And we can use space or button 2 to use a smart bomb. Then we have high scores, about, a training game, and back. So let's start. So in the beginning we have a spread shot, which doesn't have an auto fire. But then we immediately get this power laser, which has an auto fire. So it's a kind of a mix of whether this game has an auto fire or not. The other weapon has and other weapon doesn't have. Now that we have started, I haven't noticed any enemies coming from behind. That's a good thing. And there are lots of enemies coming from other directions than from front and sides and all that. I think I'm needing... Oh no. Yeah. So even though when you use you can use a smart bomb, then you're still not invulnerable. So you still have to watch out. So many things going on, so it's better to use a smart bomb. The game is very generous with these smart bombs. You get 4 smart bombs every life. Ow! So you can see this is very hectic. Out of smart bombs, so I'm probably going to die soon. Oh no, finally they got me. So now I have four smart bombs and it really is best to use them. No, power up. Oh no! Ah. The base, I'm dead. But anyway, short as it is, it's very... or short gameplay, but it's very fun. Very hectic and I like that. Next up is XP8. This was released in 1996 also, and it was released by Effigy. So, a probe of alien origin was reported entering the Alpha Quadrant. The probe carried a message of peace and star maps indicating the location of an alien planetary system. For 10 years we have attempted to establish communications with the distant alien worlds, but with no success. The decision was taken to launch a Class 3 starship design for first contact. Soon after entering the alien star system, contact with our starship was lost. We know our ship was intercepted by alien spacecraft. Communication was attempted. What happened next is unclear, but we have verified that our starship was totally destroyed with the loss of 3,000 lives. Faced with such aggression, we had no choice but to respond with force. Thus began the war. We have suffered severe setbacks. Our defeat is imminent. Our last hope is to strike at the very heart of the aliens' power and destroy their homeworld. A prototype fighter has been developed to penetrate the alien defenses and prepare the way for our assault. It has revolutionary weaponry, but still retains defensive shields due to organic materials in the ship's molecular structure. These materials have metamorphic properties when in close proximity to similar reverse organic materials. A second ship built from the reverse organic materials is nearing completion. We are now approaching the star system. So that was the intro. Pretty usual stuff. Anyway, so we have options where we can change the game difficulty from easy to normal and custom. Let's see, customize options. Yeah, there we have number of shields, shield strength, bullet strength, and so on. Let's just take normal difficulty. Our first mission is to destroy 25 mines in the level. So our attack force can proceed. So this is the AGA version. There's also an version for A500 and other machines which don't have AGA. This looks better, of course. Well, not of course, but it does have better graphics than the OC's easiest version. So you notice that we have the auto fire in this game. Oh, damn it. But we really need the auto fire because it's really quite a pea shooter in the beginning. We really need these power-ups. I still can't really shoot these meteorites, I just have to avoid them. So we have 3 shields in the beginning. That guy hit me, but it didn't cost me a shield this time. The shields have some... the shields don't destroy from one hit. All the time. Oh, damn it. So the graphics are very nice. There's also a 2-player option where you can have two ships at the same time, but also you can how to say it? You can make the 2 ships become one big ship, which has a turret. That's quite fun for a while at least. Oh, didn't notice those bullets. Oh no, I have destroyed enough mines, so We just have to get to the end of the level. So our mission is complete. For the first level, of course. Lost the shield and that cost me some power up. Oh no. Yeah, our mission is a failure. Yeah. It's an okay game, I think. Definitely could be worse, but something is lacking maybe. We get to the last game of this video, which is Gunbee F-99, the kidnapping of Lady Akiko. The Akiko was, by the way, the chunky to planar conversion chip in the CD32. But anyway, this was released by APC and TCP in 1999, and this is the only game of this list or this video that is still sold. I bought this from the APC and TCP site for €2, so it's not an expensive one. Let's skip the intro. So in options we can have two modes of the game, honey and story. Let's take the story mode and get to the game. In honey mode you can choose the chapter where you want to start in. I think there are 4 chapters in the game. I'm not sure about that. So here we have this Gunbee ship, which has quite a pea shooter in the beginning. But shooting in the clouds, we can get these bells. Oh no! By pressing ESC we can also quit the game and start over. So you have to collect some bells to get power-ups for your Gunbee ship. The black bells are an instant death, but then you can have well, yellow bells give you points, and blue bells give you this speed, and green gives you power ups. So here I'm not collecting the black one because that kills me. In the beginning it's quite important to just get these power-ups. Because this is a pea shooter really. Green one gives a weapon power-up. Of course, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, you have. Also, you have this. Oh, I didn't get that one. So, if you hold the fire button down, then you can also make this fire shot, which is much more powerful than the pea shooter, but you have only limited amount of those. Then if you have a second fire button, or if you don't have it, then you can use the spacebar to drop bombs. Like this. That was it, a raspberry or whatever that was then. That did come from behind, but there was this warning sound which gave away that there's something coming from behind. Green power up almost gives us another bullet. White is the shield. Yeah. So this is a conversion of the arcade game called was Gunbee II. Anyway, it's a conversion from a Gunbee series, some arcade game. I think it was the second one. 1991. Oh no. Fortunately, I got to the ambulance, which saved me this time. Crystal into the flying basket. I cannot. Oh no. Nah, I lost all my power-ups and I'm quite slow again. Don't have firepower. Oh, didn't see that. Warning. Yep. speed, which is important. So this was from ABCDCP side. I got this for €2, but it's also sold. You can also have this was the digital download version. You can also have a physical version. It's still sold. It's quite a steal really, because this is a good game. Okay, now I got the second bullet. Oh, it's game over. So that was Gunbee F-99. So that's a very, very good game. So that was a lot of games. I tasted about 90 games, and from those I got 33 games, which I thought that should be on this list. If you find some game that you think should be on this list of playable games, then please comment below. But otherwise, that is it for me. So thanks for watching.